Good morning from the absolutely beautiful picturesque Zandvlei. We have the lovely mountain as our backdrop and a lovely estuary, beautiful stunning estuary. We've got the fishermen with their lines out having a throw, which is fantastic. And of course last night we had our rain, so every time it rains, which is every single rainy day, Zandvlei gets deposited with these plastic bags, as you can see along here. Lots of plastic being dropped off all along here. So as the rain has been flushing out the canal systems, the plastic then gets washed down Zandvlei, broken up into smaller and smaller bits, and then that will eventually get washed out into Zandvlei. This will just give you a scope of the problem. We've got polystyrene. All that you can see in there is polystyrene deposits. The deposits have been happening over probably about 15 years, so it's now layered into the soil, and you can see all the way up there. Bottles, that's old. This chip packet's old, but the rest of a lot of the stuff is new, like the bags there. Here you can see the deposits that we are talking about. So what actually happens is this plastic bottle there breaks down, and eventually becomes this. Now all the white stuff that you see here at the moment, that's actually all polystyrene. They're your bigger bits in there, and there you can see how the polystyrene has now become layered in the soil after about 15 years of deposit. So this is every time it rains in Zandvlei. You can see the levels of microplastics. So the bigger pieces that are here, the chip packets, they flake, they break down, smaller, like the little noodles there. And then they get deposited into the layers of the soil. Now you can just, as we're walking all along, tons and tons and tons of plastic. The stuff is all breaking down, it's all chemicals, and as you can see as we just walk along, lots and lots and lots. Bits of styrofoam up there, more polystyrene there, plastic, all this is plastic, as you can see as we're going along, deposited into the bits of the shoreline, plastic bags, sucker sticks, more bags. I've already done one of these bags this morning full of chip packets. Hardly even made a dent, and as you can see as I'm walking along, plates, more bags, more plastic bags. This is all washing up, and here's actually a mixture. You can see in there the mixture of bigger pieces of plastic, and then you can see, oh look at that, even on there's the smaller bits inside that piece of plastic, and you see there, look at the little micro bits breaking down from the bigger pieces, smaller pieces, to stuff that you can't see that's in the water. So that water is actually contaminated with the plastic that you cannot see. And we just keep walking, plastic Armageddon, bigger piece of plastics, they're the microplastics. This is Zandvlei, very low dense area. If it's this bad in Zandvlei, I can imagine what it's like in the high populated areas. More polystyrene. So there's obviously a factory further down the canal system that's causing these large deposits of polystyrene. As you can see up there, it's layered in the soil deposits, 25 years, more 15 to 25 years of deposits. More along there, and as we go, this is a classic example of how the plastics have now become part of the sandbanks. You can see it's built into the sandbanks, it's going up. Plastic is for life. So this is what you're going to see here will be for, maybe for 800 years time, maybe your children's. Oh, that's a classic case. There you can see what I'm referring to. Big plastics breaking down, and those white bits that you can see up into the top layers of the soil, and even into that section there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call microplastics, breaking down smaller bits. Check the noodles in there. Smaller and smaller. Now there's nothing we can do at this point with this type of plastic. It's in the soil. It's too small to be picked up and to be dealt with. This is now flowing out into Zandvlei. The council thinks it's probably a good idea that it gets flushed into the sea. Well, not the council, but people in the city. And they're saying, well, if it gets flushed into the sea, then it's not a problem anymore. But that's not happening, as it is embedded now into the sandbanks. There, look. So amongst all the vegetation, all this organic matter, is the is plastics. Look at this, plastic, microplastics, all coming to Surfers Corner. So all my dear surfing friends out there downstream, I apologize, but yeah, this is coming to you and your kids shortly. Now this is only a 15 meter stretch that I'm walking down. Here's much older plastic deposits. So that you can see is in the sandbank. Plastic breaking down as we go in and in and in and in. There we go. As you can see, out, all the way down the flay, both sides of the flay, and in the water. So we've had whales been dying recently because of the traps. I think we probably have a greater problem. I mean, what are we going to do? Has anybody got an idea how we're going to manage these microplastics? I remember that once they break down, see, look how that's how far we way up now on the beach, on the bank, and it's actually far up on the bank as well. That is plastics. So it breaks down into smaller bits, enters into your blood system by either drinking it or consuming it. It's so small, it breaks down into micro compounds, and then it enters into your system. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is all microplastics actually up on the sandbanks. And there we go, just a little bit more. So this is one small little place. You guys know Muizenberg, it's a very low dense area. That's all layers and layers of the plastic that we have over the years. I would say we're in serious trouble. This is another classic case. You can see the bigger plastics and then how we go up into the smaller plastics, all into the sandbank. Chip packets. These things are particularly nasty, non-recyclable chip packets. Whoever produces this really should be going to jail. But we won't discuss that because people get nervous when we talk about ecocide, which will become a term you need to get used to for the future when humanity crashes. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is probably what the whales are dying from.